What are you guys all doing here?
Pilot training.
Like pilot training?
Yeah.
Are you guys? Where are you guys from?
China.
China. How long have you been here?
Almost around 500 days.
Yeah. 500 days. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is it just for like civilian training, or are you with the?
No, for the airlines.
Keean Bexte for Rebel News here in Red Deer, Alberta, just days after Rebel News broke a pretty concerning story that made news around the world. Justin Trudeau was favoring the People's Liberation Army over the dignity of his own military, the Canadian Armed Forces. Instead of agreeing with what the general at the time wanted to do, which was cancel all of the winter warfare training that was being held sort of as a diplomatic process for the appeasement of Xi Jinping, well, instead of canceling that, Justin Trudeau wanted to continue it and double down. Justin Trudeau wanted to train generals and corporals and privates in the Chinese military, despite the advice saying that we shouldn't, because, you know, they're currently holding hostage Canadian citizens, the two Michaels, Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor. That doesn't matter to Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau just wanted to help his friend Xi Jinping save face. This news made headlines across the world, from the United Kingdom to the United States. Tucker Carlson even interviewed Ezra Levant over this story, and the CBC the whole time was acting like nothing was happening. They were more concerned talking about the vocabulary of social justice warriors and Wimexin, or whatever you want to call them, instead of talking about the major classified document dump that Rebel News conducted over the course of last week. Now, why am I here in Red Deer? Well, following that story breaking, we received a lot of tips. The People's Liberation Army supposedly was training pilots here in Red Deer, actually just a few kilometers south of Red Deer at the now closed CFB Penhold. These Chinese nationals are actually staying in the old barracks here, right here in Springbrook. Now, CFB Penhold specialized in long-range radar for NORAD. Boy, wouldn't China like to know exactly what was going on here at that base? Any sort of military secrets, I'm sure they'd be keen to learn. Now, if they were sending spies here, would they be sending spies as military personnel, or just personnel, civilians, in fact? Maybe learning pseudo-military tactics like flying planes. Hi. You want to pet her? Yeah, go ahead. What are you guys all doing here?
Pilot training.
Like pilot training?
Yeah.
Are you guys? Where are you guys from?
China.
China. How long have you been here?
Almost around 500 days.
Yeah. 500 days. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Is it just for like civilian training, or are you with the?
No, for the airlines.
500 days. Holy man.
While we were interviewed with this school, they were telling us around 15 months or 18 months.
Yeah.
But right now, I've already been around 500 days.
500 days.
And we have a group of students that going back home. They spent 32 months. Yeah.
Wow. So is there any military training?
I don't think so. Not here.
No.
I think the nearest military training is in Cold Lake.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
this side.
Cool. Well, thanks so much, guys.
Okay.
Now, teaching Chinese nationals pseudo-military things like flying planes isn't like teaching Chinese nationals how to, I don't know, bake a cake or build houses. This kind of training directly impacts our national security. They're learning how we fly planes. They're learning how we fly our planes specifically, and they're doing it at a closed-down Canadian Forces base. Why is that? And why is Justin Trudeau okay with that? Justin Trudeau actually wants to explicitly train the Chinese military, not just civilians, in how to fight in cold weather. He wants to train them in how to kill Canadians best in the winter. That's something that Justin Trudeau has to answer for. But he also has to answer for what's going on here. It seems a little bit innocuous. It's been going on for months, maybe even years here. But given the fact that China has become more and more hostile over the past few months, over the past few years, it makes you wonder, why are we continuing with this training? And were you even aware that this training was happening in the first place? Now, here at Rebel News, we have a bit of a motto, tell the other side of the story, but we also have a second motto, follow the facts wherever they lead you. We came here to Red Deer, just south of Red Deer, to see if Canada was indeed training the People's Liberation Army in how to fly planes. Now, that wasn't exactly the case. The People's Liberation Army doesn't seem to be here, at least no active duty members of the PLA. But there certainly are hundreds of Chinese nationals here in old Canadian Forces barracks learning how to fly our planes, living at an old Canadian Forces base. If that doesn't sound strange to you, I don't know what will. For Rebel News, south of Red Deer, at an old Canadian Forces base, I'm Keean Bexte. Hey there, thanks so much for tuning into our coverage here at Rebel News. If you go to thechinafiles.com, you'll be able to see our full data dump of classified documents that Justin Trudeau does not want you to see. If you go there, read the files, maybe pitch in a few bucks to help us with our ongoing coverage, it'd be greatly appreciated.